All right, this video is about light sensitivity. So I had sensitivity to being outside. So there's different forms of sensitivity. It's where you're outside and it affects your skin. It affects, you get a bunch of symptoms with like your blood pressure goes up and down, or heart rate will go up and down, panic attacks, skin reacts to it. When it comes to, it'll do rashes, it'll do, you'll see sunspots, sunburn really easy, right? Your cortisol levels go up and you have alarms turning on everywhere. That's what I dealt with. I had very little light sensitivity with my eyes, where if I saw a little bit of sun, I would get or light, even inside, I'd get a headache and a lot of eye pressure, right? And it'd make me nauseous. That came and went. It wasn't the dominating symptom. I had dominating symptoms and I had symptoms that came and went. So it was really hard for me when it came to having a sensitivity to being outside, because I wanted to be outside. I wanted to do things. So, and I just came out of the winter. I was outside a lot. I was like, okay, well, how are we going to do this? And the first time I came out of the winter into the spring, I was indoors all the time. So I didn't have time to expose myself to the gradual transition from winter to spring to summer. So my body wasn't able to recalibrate. I was indoors, and then I went out in the summer. So it was like, right? I was like a vampire. I felt like a vampire. So in the beginning, this is how I handled it. I had to have coping mechanisms in the beginning, right? And we all do with different things with symptoms. You have your avoidance and coping mechanisms in the beginning, and you need those for the beginning. Eventually you come out of them and you expose yourself out of them, and then you stop them. It's very necessary to stop them eventually. But in the beginning, I took my dog out, Chloe, for walks on a regular basis by then, and it was okay. It started to get hot, right? And it started to get hot quicker. I was like, oh man, I wish it would transition slower, like from the winter to spring, but it was getting quicker. So I bought a white hat, one of those fisherman hats, right? And I had a bunch of t-shirts, white t-shirts that were like long sleeve. So I'd have my normal shirt and I'd have a long sleeve shirt on top, so it would cover my arms, right? And I didn't do the sunglasses because I was like, no, I don't want to be a person that's going overboard with the avoidance. So I wanted to ease out, because I remember when I went outside just for a little bit, right away I would get hit up with all these symptoms that I listed earlier. And it was like the same symptoms that I had with most other triggers, except now my skin would be burning, right? Or I'd have sunspots popping up, and then you get triggered because you're like, what's going on? I'm easily, sunspot. No, what's going on? Am I gonna have cancer, or am I gonna be filled with all these blemishes? And right? So, I was dealing with all these what if thoughts, and then I thought, eventually I'll get over this sun sensitivity, and I can always use the carnivore diet to clear all these little blemishes, because in the past the carnivore diet did that for me. But then I realized, the carnivore diet, it works and everything, but it's just a coping mechanism. If I'm recalibrating my body properly, bringing down my baseline, turning off alarms, I will get the same effects plus more, right? I'll have the ultimate effects, and my skin won't react to the sun, and I won't have the symptoms anymore, and it'll actually flourish and look good. So eventually I stopped wearing the shirts, the button-up shirts, and I would just go outside and I'd wear white shirts because black attracts the sun. And then I started taking off my hat. And this was probably a transition of only like 2 weeks that I was able to be outside for longer periods of time. Eventually, I would get it would affect me more than the average person, where I'd be like, okay, I gotta be in the AC. I gotta go inside. I've been out for an hour. Okay, that's enough. I gotta be inside. And then throughout the summer, when you're walking your dog, and then my dog was also a senior dog. It was a senior citizen. It was also a black lab, so it was also overheating. So me and her were like two peas in a pod, right? She also had anxiety issues, so me and her were like a team. So, we'd go out, do our thing. She'd have fun, right? We'd have fun. Then we're like, all right, let's get into the car and be in the AC and drink water. All right, are we good? All right, let's go to the beach. And I would bring like an umbrella. I used a little bit of sunscreen, but I didn't want to use too much because I was reacting to things, right? And we'd be in the beach, and the dog Chloe would love the water, so she would be cool, and then I would be in the water, I'd be cool, and I was able to handle it. And the rest of the summer was okay, right? I had blemishes that added up, but I didn't care. I was able to be outside. I didn't care. Like, I'll deal with those blemishes next year or whatever. So that's how I got out of the sun sensitivity. And then the year after, it was great because you're in the winter, you're able to be outside, right? And then I was able to transition from the winter to the spring to the summer, and I fully recalibrated my sun sensitivity, and I was able to be outside and handle extreme temperatures without getting any sunburns or nothing. And I noticed that, looking back to all the times where I had sunburns and when I didn't have sunburns, because there was times where, I remember when I was on the carnivore diet, me and my wife went to Arizona, and I wouldn't burn. It was crazy. No matter what I did, I would not burn. I could handle it. It was amazing. All my blemishes would start to come off, right? I was clearing up. And that also helped me. It gave me clarity onto, the limbic system is able to handle more. It's able to detox. Your body's able to filter things out with ease. And when I was going through the journey with recalibrating and turning off alarms, bringing the baseline down and getting healthier, I also was able to handle the sun with ease, and I wasn't burning like I used to. And when you look back, the times that you did burn easily, it makes sense because your bucket was full at the time, right? You were dealing with a lot of alarms. Your body was buffering, right? So when it's dealing with another load, a toxic load, because it's lifting and pulling 747s, it's like, oh fuck, now we got to deal with this sun shit, and I got to detox the skin and make sure it's thriving and process, and your systems in your body aren't working efficiently. It's like, right? And then you can see how your skin reacts. It's overloaded. Okay, that makes sense, right? And then when your bucket is empty, right? When this bad boy is empty, your skin's like, give it to me. I'm good. I can handle this. I'm regulating. Right? You're not going to burn. Don't worry about it. Have fun. Go outside. And I didn't burn ever. It was easy. I didn't have to put sunscreen on. And, that's why the subject about skin cancer and putting skin lotion on, protectant lotion on, and people, there's one side of the fence saying, well, you need the sun, it's good for you, it's healthy. And then the other side is saying, well, you got to be careful because you'll get skin cancer, you need to cover up, you can't, right? It's in a way that they're all right and they're all wrong, because this goes for anything, not just sun sensitivity. This goes for any sensitivity. It can do you harm if you're not able to handle it and your body's not able to regulate, because it's not regulated. So if you're regulated and your nervous system is working, right, with ease, it's like, oh man, this is like drinking water. And your body's working, all the systems are working together like this. You're flowing through health, you're thriving, you're living happy. Everything's working the way it's supposed to, right? You don't have to micromanage anything. Everything's online. Then things like the sun sensitivity aren't a problem. You can handle it, right? You don't have to worry about skin cancer because you're not overloading. You're not pulling a 747 planes anymore. right? Your bucket's empty. You can handle what the sun gives you. You can handle what the food is giving you. You can handle what the mold is giving you. You can handle what the Lyme, ticks, trauma, blah blah, blah 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 blah. Whatever the environment that you're around is throwing at you, or whatever life is throwing at you when it comes to physical or mental loads, you're able to process it with ease, efficiently, and the problem becomes irrelevant. It's not dangerous anymore. It's not perceived danger anymore. It's nothing for you to worry about anymore. And you can just live your life free, right? With no restrictions. No, you don't need to wear anything to cover up. You don't need to. The only thing you got to worry about is dehydration. Make sure you're drinking water, right? And that's it. And your animals, make sure that they're hydrated and around water. That's it. You got to watch out for others and other people that might not be regulated, and you are. So you got to make sure you look out for other people. But it brings a lot of clarity when you do the work. You see things, you see patterns, and you see how you used to be, and things line up, and you go right? You got a lot of aha moments, and you use that as their information going forward. So that's how I overcame sensitivity to the sun.